Hi and welcome to my channel. So I'm on a mission to retire before I hit 40 years old. And because of this particular mission, it's meant that in the last few years, I have been heavily invested in personal development, career progression, as well as just trying to find multiple sources of income for myself. Because the truth is, having a permanent job is great. Having a permanent job gives you that security and a starting stone, but it is not enough to guarantee that you're going to be even financially independent. You're not even able to pay rent and all that, so you need multiple sources of income. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you three things that you should not spend any money on, or you should not spend money on more than you should, because the money is just going to be going down the drain and there is absolutely no reason to do that. So if you're somebody who is also keen on not only career progression but retiring early, I want you to hit subscribe, turn on that notification button, because you want to be the first to be notified when I drop some of these tips on here. Because the truth is, with the financial crisis, COVID-19, everything going on, look, we are all struggling. The world is struggling financially at this point in time. And the smartest, 1% or 10% have been able to make a lot of money despite COVID-19. So making money, whether it's online or through your job or passive income ideas or just multiple streams of revenue. Look, if you've never thought about this, this is the time for you to start thinking about it right now. And like I've said, join me in this journey, be part of this family, and subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to be bringing you all of that info. And by the way, before I forget, I'm going to be doing a live session at the end of this month where I'll be talking about career progression in the UK. Because like I say, if you progress in your career, it enables you to have more time. And if you have more time, you can then invest in other ventures. And those other ventures are the things that will ultimately help you retire early. It is not your permanent job, because there is no job I've seen that makes anybody rich. The jobs are there to keep you still stagnant and broke. So you want to make sure you're thinking out of the box and you're dedicating some extra time, some spare time to developing a side business, side hustle, work from home opportunity, whatever it is, you got to be doing something. So that live stream, I'm going to be talking about all of this stuff. So if you check the comment section below, you'll see a link to my newsletter. If you drop your name and email, look, it's not even going to take you up to 30 seconds to do that. Once you drop that, you're going to get a link, obviously, to join that live session. It's going to be on Zoom, because I want it to be as interactive as possible, and it's not going to be here on YouTube. So again, because these are things that I'm really passionate about. I have a private coaching program. By the way, I'm a nurse myself. I work as an advanced nurse practitioner here in England, in the UK. And I have a private career coaching service where I support nurses, carers, student nurses, prospective student nurses, UK aspirants with career progression in the UK. You're a carer, you're thinking, oh my God, I want to get into nursing, I want to get into healthcare, non-clinical jobs, what can I do? You're a nurse, you're like, I want to progress, become a specialist nurse, a manager nurse, anesthetists, I want to specialize. Where do I even start? Or you want to get into clinical, non-clinical healthcare jobs, what do you do? Because look, you don't only want a job that you're going to earn the most, but you want a job that's going to give you time to dedicate to building your own side hustle. So let's get started. The first thing is, when you're buying a house, this is a great tip if you're planning to buy a house. If you want to buy a house, know that that's always a great investment either way. But there is a way you can do it that it becomes a very painful and a very heavy investment to make. What do I mean? If you're in a place like the UK, for example, where 99.9% of us buy houses by taking a mortgage, which means you see a house that you want, the bank pays for it, and then you pay the bank back small amounts every month for 30 years, 20 years, however time it is for, but it's in years and it's normally a very long time. If before you get a mortgage, you're going to get assessed, you get assessed and they'll say, look, what is a maximum amount that they're able to lend you? If you see this amount normally is very high, and I'm going to give you specific examples, because when I wanted to buy a house, because I own my own house in the UK, when I wanted to buy a house, literally I had this assessment done and I was told that I could take a house for, I think it was up to £500,000. So it depends on how much you earn. The more you earn, the more expensive the house you can have. So my assessment came back to about £500,000. And so I was like, oh my God, I can't wait, I'm going to take a house for £500,000. Look, that's £500,000. I was excited. I was like, I'm going to live in a beautiful house, I really cannot wait. But I was so lucky because before I actually got to take that house, I decided I was going to get a financial advisor. So I found a financial advisor because I thought I need some financial advice. Look, before I make any important decisions, any big decisions, I always like to have an expert in that sector. I like to have an expert in that field. And so being a nurse, I'm able to support people in my private coaching program with career progression in nursing because that's a journey that I've gone through myself. That's something that I've been through. I've been from a carer to a nurse practitioner, so I know how to support somebody through that journey. But when it comes to finances, buying a house was completely new to me. So I'm somebody that I believe in mentorship. I live by mentorship. It's mentorship that keeps me, achieving my goals every day. And if I'm doing anything, I need to find the best person in that industry, pay them. Yes, I'm not scared to spend. I'm not scared of spending money on those services because I know that once I spend the money, I'm going to get 100-fold from the knowledge that I'm going to gain and from the savings I'm going to make potentially in the future. So when I paid this financial advisor basically to get some advice on what was the best thing to do, he said to me, Melvis, they've said you can take a house up to 500,000, but this property is not a business property. It is for you to live in. So if you're living in a house of 500,000 and say you've got a husband and 2 kids, you're only going to be using a very small amount of space anyway. You're only going to be using certain areas. So you want to cut down and make sure that you don't take a house as expensive as you're allowed to do. And I was like, really? But surely if they're able to give me 500,000 for the house, it's best I go for the maximum. He was like, no, get a house that is much cheaper than that, as cheaper as you would have, because it is not an investment property. Yes, the amount of money that I've paid, obviously the amount has appreciated over time. The house itself as an asset has kind of made more money over time, but the truth is the mortgage payments, that's what really makes a difference. Because when you have a mortgage and you have to pay every month, if you take a house for say 500,000 and you're having to pay about 1,000 a month or 1,500, that is a lot of money to pay back monthly for like 20 or 30 years. And that's what he explained to me. He was like, look, you're excited about this amount, it's not the best thing. So if you're planning to buy a house in the UK, you need to make sure that you get financial advice. If you're part of my private coaching program, I do have access to mortgage brokers, financial advisors that, are there to give that advice when needed, because since I have many people in the program, it is easy to just negotiate those deals and get to have discounts or most of the advice actually for free, because I refer people to them all the times. And those are the deals that I make for, members of my private coaching program. So if you're not part of it, you need to make sure that you check it out, check out the private coaching program and join, because not only is it going to support you with that career progression in the UK, but you also get access to all these other services that I'm talking about, as well as even side business opportunities that you can start in the UK right now. Passive income ideas, what can you do? Work from home opportunities, what are they? Online opportunities, what are they? Because look, you need all of that in order to not only retire early, but live a comfortable life over time. So that's the first thing. The second thing is spending money on cars. So look, having a brand new car is a great thing to do. But the truth about the matter is you don't necessarily need a brand new car, brand new out of the factory. Because I made this massive mistake, and it's been one of the biggest mistakes I ever made. My first car in the UK was brand new. I didn't even think I could buy a second-hand car or a used car. I don't know why I didn't think about that. I wanted to buy a car, and all I did was I went to a car dealership for brand new cars, and I was like, oh, I want a brand new car. And they had all these different colors, all these different models that they showed me on a fancy sparkly magazine. I chose a car, chose like the seat. They were like, you can choose whatever you want. You can have a camera here, you can have this there. Look, I chose all sorts of things that I could choose. In the end, the car was about £30,000. £30,000, that is a lot of money. Thinking back now, that was the wrong decision. Because I didn't take any financial advice at the time. I think it was just being naive. I wouldn't do that now. And that's why mentorship, coaching, getting advice from the experts within that industry, within that sector, it guides you through that journey. So I made that mistake, but a brand new car, it took me 5 years to pay off that car. And look, while I had a brand new car, and you may think that's great, but I still could have even just bought a used car from even the same manufacturer or car dealership. Some of the cars have like a really low mileage, maybe like 10,000 or 5,000 even, that nobody's even own those cars, but because they've been exposed, they are now considered as used cars. Because the car, look, as you buy the car and they hand over the keys to you, it's now considered an old or used car, and the value only goes down. A car is not something that appreciates in value, so it's constantly depreciating in value. So if you're spending your money, you need to spend it wisely, because the truth is that cars, no, yes, you need a car to go around, but it doesn't have to be brand new straight out of the factory. That was a huge mistake that I made a few years ago, and like I said, it took me 5 years to pay for that car. It was a very, very painful journey having to pay it off, because it's only later on that I started and I thought, oh my God, I didn't have to get a brand new car. I should have just looked for a car online or go to the dealership but get it used. So please, please don't make these mistakes. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you want to hit subscribe right now. Don't be a stranger on here. Turn on the notification button, because you want to be the first to be notified when I drop all these hints about money, side business ideas, career progression, moving to the UK, because these are things I'm passionate about. And like I say, I'm on a mission to retire by the time I'm 40 years old, and look, I'm going to be sharing those ideas with you. If you're part of my private coaching program, then I can also help you to implement some of the things that I'm implementing, so that we can move together at that pace. Because look, retiring at the age of 70, when we're all full of arthritis, everything's gone wrong, nobody wants to. Because by that age, you know what I mean. What age do you want to retire? Leave a comment in the comment section. Do you want to work until the current retirement age, or do you want to be able to retire early? Leave a comment in the comment section. What do you want to do, and what are you doing to ensure that you retire at the age that you want? Because the truth is, most people always say, oh, I want to retire by 50. 50 is it's the age that I've seen that most people agree that they would like to retire by 50. That 50 is the perfect age to retire. But how many people are actively working towards securing that financial freedom, that financial independence that comes with retiring at 50? If you retire at 50 and you haven't got a stable, source of income and wealth generating process, look, you're going to be broke within the first 6 months. You wouldn't even last up to 6 months. So what are you doing about this? Leave a comment in the comment section. Then the next one is designer stuff, expensive shoes, expensive clothes, expensive bag. If like me, you're in healthcare, the truth is many of us don't even have time to wear those clothes. Many of us don't really have time to dress up. We're so engulfed with work, we're so exhausted on our days off that I'm not going anywhere. But for some people, they just feel good when they go out and do that shopping and just be like, oh my goodness, I just bought this bag, it's 400 pounds, 500 pounds, and they come and leave it at home. You're too exhausted to go out. Look, you need to be smart when you're doing your shopping. You need to be wise when you're buying stuff. Initially, again, I used to be like, oh my God, this bag is so beautiful. I love these shoes. I was into all of that, like when I was a student. I think like when I was a student nurse, and then like the first 3 years working as a nurse. But ever since I started working actively towards my finances and towards my financial freedom and my goals to retire early, is dramatically changed everything. In fact, I think I've probably just gone too much to the other side now, where I'm just like, look, I can't bother to spend more than X amount of pounds on this dress, or 20 pounds or 30 pounds, because it's not worth spending too much money on, which I could invest in something better. I've become really frugal. I've gone to the extreme of the whole thing, where I'm like, oh my God, I need to be investing money wisely. I need to be spending money wisely. If I'm putting money in anything, it better be worth it. It better be something that is going to generate more income. Otherwise, no. So again, you want to make sure that, if you're doing any of these things, and they're taking most of your finances, you need to ask yourself, actually, all these dresses you're buying, or the hair, or the bags, or the products, whatever it is, do you need them? Are they worth it? Yes, they may be worth it. They may give you that instant gratification, but you need to think long term. Long term, is that something you would want to do? Because sometimes we have impulse buys as well, where you're just sat there, you're like, oh my God, this thing is so good, let me buy it. And now with targeted advertising, if you visit the site and check one thing, they'll send you 2,000 other things that are the same. So please, you want to make sure that, you're being smart. You want to make sure that you're wise. You want to make sure that you're getting financial advice from people who are experts in the industry, from people who have, first-hand, up-to-date information, because some of the mistakes that we make are very costly. And look, working is so hard. Working is really challenging. Working is not something that is easy. So obviously, You want to be building other sources of income. You want to be building multiple sources of income, because ultimately that's what's going to give you the dream life, and the life that you're going to enjoy, so you can relax. We can just lay and just chill out, have sip some wine and cocktails on the beach. Those are sort of things we want to be doing. By the time I'm 60, I don't want to be on the wards working as a nurse, running up and down and this and that. No chance. So again, like I've said, join me through this journey. Join the newsletter. Check the comment section below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, just hit subscribe. Like the video. Also share it with your friends, your contact, your loved ones, so that they can benefit from this. Because look, the more people benefit from this information, the better it is. Because I'm on a mission to share this with you. So you want to make sure that you're implementing some of these things. And leave a comment to say, what is your situation? Have you experienced any of these things? And again, I'm gonna see you in the next video. Keep watching. I've done videos about side hustles, that you can do, something that you can even start with zero. And thank you. I'll see you in the next video.